What is E20 Petrol? E20 Petrol is a fuel blend containing 20% ethanol, biofuel produced mainly from sugarcane, maize, damaged food grains, etc. 80% petrol. It is part of India's ethanol blended petrol (EBP) program, aimed at reducing crude oil imports, lowering emissions, increasing farmers' income, and improving energy security. India advanced its target of 20% ethanol blending from 2030 to 2025 to 26. Why did E20 become controversial? Although the policy has environmental and economic benefits, many consumers, automobile experts, and activist groups have alleged problems after the nationwide rollout. The controversy is not over ethanol itself, but over fuel quality, compatibility of older vehicles, consumer choice, cost of repairs, adequacy of testing and implementation. Major issues with E20 petrol reduce fuel efficiency. Ethanol has about one-third lower energy content than petrol. Most users report 2 to 8% lower mileage, especially in older vehicles. The government also acknowledges a modest mileage reduction, compatibility with older vehicles. Vehicles not designed for E20 may experience fuel line deterioration, rubber seal degradation, corrosion, injector problems, fuel pump wear. Older BS3 and early BS4 vehicles are considered more vulnerable. Moisture absorption. Ethanol is hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs moisture from the atmosphere. Possible consequences: water accumulation, phase separation, corrosion, engine starting problems. Long-term fuel system damage. Higher maintenance cost vehicle owners have complained of frequent injector replacement, fuel pump failures, higher servicing costs, reduced resale value. Consumer choice. Many owners argue they should have continued access to ordinary petrol if their vehicles are not E20 compatible. SIAM report controversy. The biggest recent development concerns the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, SIAM. What SIAM initially reported: according to reports, SIAM wrote to the Ministry of Petroleum, raising concerns that field observations indicated increased replacement of fuel injectors, fuel pump failures, EGR valve problems, corrosion of fuel system components, high chloride contamination, excessive moisture content in some E20 fuel samples. SIAM reportedly warned that contaminated fuel, not ethanol alone, could damage vehicle parts and reduce public confidence in E20. Withdrawal of the letter. Soon after the letter became public, SIAM withdrew the communication, stating that some figures required further authentication and more nationwide data collection before firm conclusions could be drawn. SIAM reaffirmed its support for the government's E20 program. The controversy currently revolves around fuel contamination and quality control, rather than a proven inherent defect in E20 fuel itself. Government's defense of E20. The government of India has strongly defended the program. Environmental benefits: lower carbon monoxide emissions, reduced greenhouse gas emissions, cleaner combustion, energy security, less dependence on imported crude oil, better energy diversification, farmer welfare, additional income for sugarcane and maize farmers, better utilization of surplus agricultural produce, foreign exchange savings, reduced crude oil imports save billions of dollars annually. Quality assurance. Following the recent controversy, the Ministry of Petroleum stated that fuel quality is regularly monitored, additional testing protocols have been introduced, over 2,000 samples were tested, only a very small number of contamination cases were detected, and affected outlets were acted against. Public grievances. Common complaints include reduced mileage, engine knocking, fuel pump failures, injector replacement, increased maintenance costs, lack of alternative fuel options, fear that older vehicles are being forced to use E20. Many consumers also argue that vehicle manufacturers and oil companies have shifted the burden of transition onto owners of older vehicles. Current protests. Several groups have opposed the present implementation of E20, including consumer rights activists, sections of vehicle owners, some automobile experts, opposition political parties. Activist groups have demanded restoration of normal petrol alongside E20, independent scientific testing, compensation for vehicle damage where contamination is established, stricter fuel quality standards, transparent publication of testing results. Recent protests at Jantar Mantar and statements by political leaders have brought the issue into national attention, while debate continues over the SIAM letter and its withdrawal. The recent controversy highlights the need to distinguish between problems arising from contaminated fuel and those attributable to E20 as a fuel blend, while ensuring public confidence through robust regulation and evidence-based policymaking.